Welcome back to another episode of Looking Forward to It. I'm your host, Tony Garso, and I'm here with not one, but two mics today. We invited Erin, but she's actually not feeling so well today, so please send her your spirit energy while she recovers. I'm here with Michael Damiani,
Hey everyone.
and I'm here with a special guest. We have Mike D'Antoni,
Hello.
and he is our special friend. He is the Galen Ousted, the tryhard machinist.
Yep, no more Bard.
So he's a friend of ours from Final Fantasy XIV. I have had plenty of awesome experiences raiding with this gentleman. And oh man, our group, what was it called? The Mighty Ducks.
We were the Mighty Ducks because ducks fly together. Except when we stopped.
Except
flying
when we
together.
stopped flying together.
Yeah.
And our heyday was in the second coil of Bahamut, right?
Yes, it was.
And all those days, turn 6 through 9, all those headaches, all those turn 7 petrifaction fails, they're all coming back to me now. Man, was that ever... all the memories. So we're here to talk a bunch of stuff about Final Fantasy XIV, but we're going to keep it a little bit brief today because we've got a special little thing planned for the second half of the show, and we hope you'll like it. And if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely look forward to that. We're going to do some chocobo racing. So we're here in the Gold Saucer because of that, and the reason we're here today also is because it's also the Make It Rain event, which is a special Gold Saucer event that's going on right now. And so you'll get a bunch more MGP, which is the currency that you can spend on a whole lot of stuff. There's also kind of a seasonal event quest called the Manderville Lounge Murder or something like that. We've got a video up on our YouTube channel that I cut earlier this weekend, so it's pretty cool. Try it yourself first, but if you want to check it out later and see the best ending, head over to our YouTube channel. So I want to briefly touch, since Aaron did this last time, I'm going to briefly touch on some of the news items that we had on novacrystallis.com. We had some big news this week. We had Dragon Quest Builders is confirmed for the West for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita. And do any of you guys own a PlayStation Vita? Crickets?
Absolutely not.
I have a Vita TV. I was thinking about it. I was like, wait, I don't have a Vita, but oh yeah, I have the Vita TV thing, so I could play on my television. But I would not get it on my Vita. I would get it on my PS4.
Yeah, we had a chance to play the Japanese version of the demo. It was a free demo that you can download from the Japanese PlayStation Network, and we did that. I did that in January, and so there's if you search Dragon Quest on the Nova Crystallis website, you'll see my little write-up with a video where I basically beat a dragon to death 1 damage at a time, and then when I beat him up, a couch drops from him, and so you can place that in your little fort that you can build, and it's kind of an interesting game. It's very derivative of Minecraft, but it's also got a very directed focus, so definitely check that out on the site.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't get a chance to go hands-on with it. I was double-checking the embargo lifted for this on Friday, but there was an event earlier this month where people got to get hands-on with the English version of the game. So.
Oh yeah, so what'd you think?
I said I didn't get hands-on time with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to remember if they said anything else about it unique at this point, but I think they just said the trailer was dropping, which you mentioned, that confirmed it's released in the West, which is good. They should. I think they need to do more to make the Dragon Quest series a little bit more popular in the West, and just because it seems like it always plays second fiddle to Final Fantasy in general, but it also seems like they didn't give it the greatest support over the years. I think, honestly, in my mind, Dragon Quest IX was the biggest thing they did when they got Nintendo to help back it, and that was a huge success on the DS. But since then, it's been whatever.
So Galen, and I'm going to call you Galen because we have two mics, and my brain might explode if we refer to you as Mike or Michael, and I don't know if I can handle that much pressure. But do you have a favorite Dragon Quest? Have you played any of them, or?
So I think the only Dragon Quest I played all the way through, I think it was 8.
For
maybe 8
PS2,
on
right?
PS2.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played through that and I enjoyed it. My jam was more uh, like when they did like the Dragon Warrior monsters or Dragon Quest monsters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's more what I've played of Dragon Quest.
Well, I mean, for years it seems like we haven't had too many, Dragon Quest games, and now all of a sudden we've had Dragon Quest Heroes, and then we're gonna get 7 and 8 on the 3DS, and then we're gonna get Dragon Quest 11 sometime in the future. I'd probably say sometime next year in Japan at least. And then we have, well, the only Dragon Quest that we don't seem to know much on right now is Dragon Quest X, which is also kind of like an MMO, similar to Final Fantasy 11 and 14, but a bit different. Obviously, more in the Dragon Quest style. So who knows? It's on PC, Wii U in Japan, and I don't know. I'd really like to see that game come out on PC over here. So we'll see. Here's hoping. So other than Dragon Quest, we've got some details on the cast of Kingsglaive. We've got a bunch of new screenshots from Kingsglaive, the Final Fantasy XV full-length movie that they are dropping sometime before the launch of Final Fantasy XV. It's going to come out in Japan in theaters sometime in July, but as far as domestically over here, we don't seem to have that much details yet. But what you guys have seen of Kingsglaive, what do you guys think so far?
Are we allowed to talk about the leak, or is that off limits?
I
purposely avoided the leak though, so I was kind of curious if someone's gonna say yes, because I was gonna be like, oh no, I did not watch the leak trailer.
Well, how about we talk about like the technical details, like as far as like the graphics of it, like especially and I'm pretty sure they're using some sort of face capture, some updated face capture for this. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, it looks really good. Like I don't think, in my opinion, that's never been in question. I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting that they have different voice actors doing the roles for the movie version, but they won't be reprising the roles in the game. So I don't know how weird that's going to be, especially, seeing, I haven't heard anything of, I don't think I've heard anything of English of the 15, the game yet. So hearing those voices in the movie first, if I see it first, which I assume I am, and then playing the game and the character, I hope the voices aren't too terribly different for the certain characters that that will be voiced by different actors in each one. But otherwise, aside from that, the other concern I think is just it looks really good, but is any of that stuff being withheld from 15 proper? Like, we had this talk earlier about, are people going to lose a bit if they don't watch the movie? They might be a little bit lost with some of the story elements, especially the intro of 15. I don't know if anyone feels that way too.
yeah, it's gonna be. Well, go ahead, Galen.
No, I'm hoping that's not going to be the case, because I don't think a movie should have to be required viewing to play the game. But I mean, you never really know how something like this is going to be done, because they haven't really done anything like this before. So
yeah, at least like launch a movie with a game, at least like as part of its like universe, and who knows like what the Brotherhood anime too, like what that'll have regarding story. And I like Mike, I am really worried that for some reason, since this stuff is in the anime or movie, that it's stuff that's cut out of the final game, and I'm a little bit sketchy, a little bit nervous about that aspect, because one of the biggest things I want out of a Final Fantasy is like a clear, concise, and contained story experience. Sure, I can deal with a cliffhanger, but I want everything to make sense within one single game. And you can do the extra stuff, but just make it like a side story or something. Not so hopefully with the case of Kingsglaive and Brotherhood, that they can keep it all contained and interesting in its own separate respects, but also something that doesn't just lift everything out of 15 and leave it with nothing.
I mean, I don't know how you feel in general for any other games that have ever been released like this, that there's a bunch of different elements that come out with it. You have like a movie, the anime, you have the game. Like others have had, comics or visual novels that support the game. My concern whenever they try and build these giant universes immediately is that are they not putting enough focus on the game? They try and create this franchise. They try and create this world building with all these elements, and I feel like sometimes that might be just too much, and they lose the focus of. It would be better spent focusing on just one thing, like the game. Bring out those other things a little bit down the line after the game comes out, but doing it all like in this kind of timeline leading up to it and then after it. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just have some concerns about did they not focus enough on the game. I mean, obviously it's been in development for a while, but that's just my concern. Is the game getting enough attention? And if the game isn't well received, are people going to point fingers at, wow, they worked on all this other stuff. Why didn't they just focus on the game and make sure the game was good?
I think that's a pretty legitimate concern. I mean, it is possibly worrying that they might be spreading themselves too thin with putting out all this content before the game even comes out. Because if the game is now not like good, like you said, like people are gonna instantly point to the anime, to the movie, to all this other stuff, and be like, "What if you didn't do this and just gave us the game itself? Like, would the quality be any different?"
Yeah, I mean, what I'm like, I watched the first episode of Brotherhood, the anime, and it was kind of like, all right, so we kind of get a thing that's kind of setting up something. I don't know where it goes, if it's going to be continuing in the game or not. But it's also like, is this, there's not that too terribly much that develops in this little episode. There's going to be 5 overall, but I think it'd be perfect if they just, kind of set it up where they're setting up story stuff that eventually plays out in the game or something like that. It seems like there's a couple scenes where it seems to be setting up something to do with like Nox's past or something like that. And hopefully they'll go down that route in the future where, they're not necessarily, redoing a part of the story, but they're more like setting up something that's going to be explained or, gone further in depth in the actual game itself. So as far as other Final Fantasy and Square Enix news, we had the Deus Ex Mankind Divided Mechanical Apartheid live-action trailer. Have you guys had a chance to check this out?
Oh, so you guys got to see it then? Because at the same event where Dragon Quest Builders was playable, they showed that off. I don't know if it was the same. I haven't seen the one they put out recently, so I don't know if it's exactly the same. They mentioned it was like an early cut, so some things might be changed, but it was intense. But at the same time, I don't know. It felt just a little too try-hard territory for my liking. At least the cut I saw. Maybe they edited it down a little bit, and it's not as extreme. But I mean, they went all out on it. They were really trying to push the moral quandaries that people would probably be in when, choosing, when they want to keep like purist people, and then mech or bionics or whatever they called them in the trailer, I forget now, and keeping them, the segregation and stuff like that. I don't know. It was just a little too try hard for my liking, but I don't know. What did you guys think if you saw it?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty interesting. Like, I really do like the fact that they set up a lot of this, interesting kind of. They frame it in a very, social justice kind of context, so it's interesting.
Yeah.
I really don't know if it was wise using like the mechanical apartheid, quote unquote, because that's obviously something that's a very real issue or has something that has very real context. And I don't know, maybe it depends from person to person or whatever, but maybe that was something that probably wasn't the best idea to kind of use for that. But overall, though, I thought it was pretty exciting, and a lot of what they've done with like the Deus Ex marketing is like really highlight a lot of people who use kind of like prosthetics, and it's more like highlighting this is something cool that's like related to mechanical augmentations in real life, and that's kind of been something that's been kind of a draw for people, is that it's a character that's very heavily augmented, I guess. And so I think that part of like the marketing that they've focused on is like, here are these like real life people that have like or these real life situations that kind of pertain to like some of the topical stuff in the story, the political stuff too. That's pretty cool. But I think like, and I hate using this word, the optics of it look a little bit weird, but I understand what they were trying to do, and it's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, so I'm like kind of on the outside of the Deus Ex franchise. I haven't really played any of it, but like I'm checking out the trailer, and I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for this kind of sci-fi type world building. So like I definitely see what Mike is saying, where it's maybe a little bit try hard. I can definitely see it, but I'm also kind of I'm a sucker for this sort of thing, so I might forgive it a little more. But Tony, I think you're right with like the whole like apartheid thing. It's like that's really doesn't really even rub me the right way if they use something like that. I mean, like, there's got to be a better way to phrase that. It's just
and
something
I'm
about
okay.
it is just a little bit off. So.
I'm so totally okay with like politics kind of if it's done in an appropriate way. I mean, if it's done and not to dive down the rabbit hole too far, but it's like if you get it right, you basically, there's a way to be too heavy-handed with it and to be light with it, that it feels that you're chickening out a little bit. And so
right.
I feel like Deus Ex, we'll see how the second game goes, if they can play to like the political aspect of it. And Deus Ex has always had kind of like this classist, sort of undertone to it, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, so for someone who doesn't really have a lot of interest in the series before this, I'm kind of more interested in seeing the trailer, and maybe this is something I'd be interested in checking out in the future. So maybe it did its job for someone like me. I don't know.
I'll say this: it wasn't as bad as the speech the what's his face from Sucker Punch gave when introducing Infamous Second Son at E3.
Yeah, that's
really intense, but it was live. I was like, it wasn't as bad as that, but
cringes.
I was having flashbacks to that moment.
Yeah.
Please don't get bad like that.
That was definitely something. I wanted to turn it off, but anyway. So, guys, 3.3. The trailer dropped, and so I want to know what was the thing that stuck out in your mind the most, and I'll start with Galen this time.
I mean, I'm pretty biased. The thing that sticks out the most is an Ozma boss fight in 3.3. Yes, please, thank you. I'm super hyped for that.
Oh man, Ozma, it's a throwback to Final Fantasy IX, and I think the funniest thing I saw there was, it looked like it turned into a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, and a little upside down triangle. I'm like, oh, they actually did a really good job of how kind of goofy Ozma as a secret boss fight was in 9. I think they did a good job, or it looks at least like it. Let's hope it's actually a fun fight, though.
So, Mike, what did you think? Michael?
I mean, from the trailer, just from the day, when when Aaron sent me the photo of the new bird, I was like,
oh man, here we go.
They didn't put it in the trailer, and I was like, we were speculating the day before. I'm like, it's gonna have like smoke and stuff, and it's gonna be like a nightmare thing, and then it's like glowing purple. Probably will have smoke too. I'm like, yeah, new birds. Game is saved for a month at least or something. No, from the trailer though, yes, bird stuff. We don't need to talk about that. From the trailer, just because in the last scenario they had that weird thing with Robon, the fight, the friendly competition.
Mm-hmm. Between like the Grand Companies and Ishgard, right?
Yeah, I feel like they might be doing something similar with the Final Steps of Faith. Maybe not like the actual Nidhogg part of it, but there might be something that is a preface to it. where you're fighting on the bridge, because they show that cutscene and like the dragons just flying down. It's a pretty decent scale battle on where you did Steps of Faith before. So I'm curious if any of that's going to be turned into actual gameplay, and there might be some kind of like event there. But that was pretty cool looking. I would expect. I was like, man, that's something they would normally do, say for CG or something, because it's pretty intense. But they just went all out of the in-game engine with it. I was like, all right, this looks cool, and I hope there's some gameplay part of this, because I kind of like them doing these. I'd like them to continue doing something kind of unique with near the end of the main scenario quest of each patch, where there's something a little different in terms of the instance content.
I mean, I totally saw that scene. I'm like, oh, it's just a cutscene going to be leading up into maybe like an instance or something like that. But I mean, hopefully you're right. I like that whole that last fight with Raubon and all that. I thought that was actually like really well done and something I really enjoyed. And I thought it was going to be kind of old hat, because like how many times can you fight in a circular arena in this game? But it was actually a really fun fight. So maybe they can top that in 3.3. That'd be great.
You know, I'm kind of interested because, you know, Hullbreaker Isle, the hard version, it seems like we're going to be fighting Slafferson, aka we think the guy who is Mistbeard, basically. So I'm kind of interested because the Admiral is there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. So yeah, the Grand Melee, that part of the game, and I want to go back and record it sometime because I'd like to, you know, show people some of the cool stuff that they do with the main scenario who maybe don't, you know, play Final Fantasy XIV or who maybe don't or haven't played up to the latest scenario patch. But it's definitely one of the things that I really appreciate about the story is that they do try to mix things up quite a bit, and it was one of those like legitimately exciting moments in the story. And you know, looking at the trailer for 3.3, I can definitely see that, you know, there's quite a bit more going on here. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but there is going to be a continuation of the Warring Triad storyline, but we didn't get any footage of it in the 3.3 trailer. And that's not to say it's not there or maybe delayed, but it's also kind of interesting where this is going to go, because I personally feel that we're going to start to, after this Dragon Song War shenanigan is, after that's over, we're going to start pivoting back towards maybe a certain empire we've kind of neglected to pay attention to for a while.
I hope so. That'd be great. I mean, I think I did see some screenshots of some specific people from said empire talking about the Warring Triad. So it looks like I think the Warring Triad is a really cool idea. And I would love if it turns from a side story, which I think we all thought it was going to be, just like a bunch of like, you know, trials for the sake of content, into something that really shapes the game going forward, possibly into 4.0. So, I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
We also have the return of Hildebrand, and so we don't know much about it yet, but it seems like there's a very familiar looking Mammoth that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So much Final Fantasy IX love going on these days. It's a great time to be alive.
So Final Fantasy IX, that game's special for you, right?
Final Fantasy IX is definitely a very good one. I quite enjoy it. So it's also very overlooked, especially compared to its brethren in that era. 7, 8, and 10 have like way more fans, I think, especially vocal fans. So it's good to see 9 not getting looked over.
That's all right. It's not as bad as 8, but it's still pretty overrated.
Oh, I don't know about that. As someone who's playing through that again, I don't know. I find new ways to fall in love with it every time. I feel, personally. Just my opinion. But, yeah, so Final Fantasy IX. What about Final Fantasy VII, Galen? And I just want to let our audience know that Galen wanted to come onto the show to talk about Final Fantasy VII. And if he...
Listen.
Okay, so go ahead. Okay.
Final Fantasy VII, that one has a special place in my heart. But I mean, so does with like everyone. But you know, with the remake news coming out, I thought maybe that'd be a good time for people to begin to appreciate that game again, even if you've forgotten to.
Well, it seems like it comes and goes in waves. Like with Advent Children, we had this wave of, why is Final Fantasy VII getting a movie and all of these spin-offs? It's so overrated. And then, they pass and everything, settles down and like everyone's like, oh man, why? What do you mean there's not going to be a Final Fantasy VII remake? We're only getting a PS4 port. What's wrong with Square? Don't they like money? And then
Turns out they do.
And then we found out that they do in fact like money, and that a remake is finally happening. And, well man, the cycle begins anew, and Final Fantasy VII is once again the most overrated Final Fantasy title ever.
Does Mike agree with that too, or does 9 still hold the most overrated title for him?
I'm curious.
9 is not the most overrated.
No. Sorry.
9 is the most overrated of the PlayStation 1 era. So 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
And any other ones, like obviously like Tactics is pretty much regarded as the best PlayStation era Final Fantasy game.
That's pretty good. So.
But the title of most overrated Final Fantasy game actually goes to Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy III for casuals, because it is. I had to grow up hearing about the stupid opera scene and how that was so much better than anything in Final Fantasy IV. And I was like, you know what, bitches, I rode a whale to the moon. Take this casual plebe little moment of yours, the stupid orchestra, and you mean
one of the best moments in Final Fantasy history?
No, best moment was when the whale comes out of the ocean. You're like, what is this? Like this lunar whale? Like this? It can't be serious. Like I'm not flying on.
Who cares about a stupid whale?
This has got to be it's a whale that you go in, that you fly to the moon.
Do you guys hear the riot forming outside, or is it just me? Yeah, how dare you say anything against Final Fantasy VI?
I think you're crazy, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it.
And you fight Bahamut on the moon. Sorry, 6.
Sounds like they copied Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh yeah, they copied Final Fantasy XIV. Yes,
mm-hmm.
They sent Garland. The 4 Fiends sent Garland in the future to 14, and he sent them back.
Mike, I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. Get it together.
We haven't gone to the moon just yet in 14, but who knows in the future?
But we've seen it. We've had a little taste. We'll see. And so, yeah, Final Fantasy VI.
Moon's like the fall, so.
I think, and I'm sure we all agree is the best Final Fantasy game of all time. So let's go ahead and leave that there. And I don't know. Well, me and Mike are gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to fight about this later.
Before you move on, Tony, real quick, the 3.3 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. We can talk about it when you want to get to it. But in the Palace of the Dead,
yeah,
there's a teaser at the very end of the clip. Is that what's her face from the Tara HM dungeon?
I think that's what we're all thinking.
I believe that's pretty much a lock for Miss in love with the dead guy.
Right. Yeah.
My question is, whose head is she carrying around this time? I just can't be sure.
I don't even want to know. I was so creeped out last time.
I just missed that part of the clip. That's the only reason I brought it up, and I didn't want to forget it because.
It's definitely in fact Edda, and oh man, I'm really excited to see where that's going because and here's the thing, maybe you'll have to get to the bottommost floor before you even get to continue that storyline, but I think people are still going to really want to do that anyway. So that's actually coming out in patch 3.35, I believe, and it's not going to be right away at 3.3.
I believe that's what they said.
Yeah, and so as far as I know, we have the community team. I believe during the live letter at E3 on the Square Enix Presents channel, I believe during the live letter they have plans to show more of that. So look forward to that. But looking through this trailer, I really love the weeping city of Mach. I believe it's, I don't know, Mach or Mach. I don't know. We'll find out.
I think it was Mach.
They showed off a lot of it in the trailer. I felt like they showed off the entire dungeon.
Pretty much all the bosses.
The best thing about it, coming off of Void Ark and World of Darkness, is that it's not purple. It's not purple everywhere, so it's instantly one of the best 24-man dungeons they put out so far.
It looks really diverse. You go to a lot of different locations, and that's why when they were showing off so much, I'm like, how long is this dungeon going to be? I mean,
Yeah.
Deep down, I'm like, okay, they're probably showing a lot of it, so it's not that long. But you go from like inside to outside to in the sky to another outdoor area to back inside, like the void arc looking part. I'm like, what is? There's a lot going on with that dungeon. It's pretty.
I
cool.
mean, it is a full city, so I mean, come on.
But I'm liking the vibe of the more outdoor types environment, more outdoor like environments for the raids and dungeons. That's kind of a nice departure from being closed inside, a cave or inside a machine type vibe that we've had for so long.
Yeah.
It seems like the unique dungeon that we're getting to called Sorkai, that's also outdoors too, and it seems like we also fight Hraesvelgr there too.
I'm very excited for that one.
And I get to make up new myths about that flying mount mini boss thing and tell people that it drops them out there. And see how many people believe that and farm that dungeon.
How long until that's in the cash shop? Who knows?
Well, speaking of ponies,
I would buy one.
Did you see the picture of the two-person pony? two pony person?
Two-pony person?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, two ponies riding on a person. Oh, I gotta find the pic for you now.
So there's now a double horse mount.
Indeed, two
two-man
people.
chocobos.
Yeah, like the two-man chocobos. There's a two-man pony.
Well, I know what Mike's gonna go after real quick.
Well, I'll have to direct him to the site to look it up. But
what is this la wizardry speak of?
But yeah, there's definitely a bunch of new mounts, and then Fenrir is gonna fly. They're gonna throw a bunch of ice cubes at him, and that's how he flies.
It's not as dramatic as the flying turtle, so I'm a little bit disappointed. So if you're gonna buy one mount from the gold saucer, buy the flaming turtle who spins around. That's all I'm saying.
Then we have the tank mounts coming up soon too. Those are gonna fly.
Yeah. Can't wait to see how they make the bear fly.
Hopefully with a jetpack.
I know I brought this up last time, but I really want to see how they're gonna make Behemoth fly whenever that's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen. It better happen at least, or I'll be extremely mad, and I don't know. I'll have to write a very sternly worded email to everyone I know who plays Final Fantasy XIV, urging them to petition Yoshida to give us a flying Behemoth mount.
Or at least give us back that really janky walk cycle.
Meteor cast.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, the Behemoth like sexy walk or something.
Yeah, I still have a gift that you made of that. It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. So, Final Fantasy XIV right now has a Make It Rain event in Gold Saucer, and again, there's like a quest line that you can do, the Murder at the Manderville Lounge, and we've got a video of that up. But have you guys done that quest line yet? And no spoilers for anyone who's waiting to do it.
Yeah, I did it on stream yesterday, and I skipped all the cutscenes, and I told everyone that's how you properly play Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh,
that is not true. This is a really good event. It's short, but I think it's very good.
So did you get the best ending, Galen?
So I had to do it twice. The first time I got the right. I did all the right things, but one wrong choice. And the branching path system is really nice to like. I don't know. It makes like the event kind of interesting. Yeah, instead of like most other things, you like go do your thing, talk to the person. You did it. You get all the rewards. But this one, you actually have to like think a little bit, and it's also encourages you to take wrong answers and see what happens next, and like how things change. So yeah, but I am a super sleuth. I did figure it out. So
yeah, if you're like Mike and you were a scrub and completely skipped everything, you can go back. It's kind of like a daily event. You can go back. And try to get all of the different answers and endings, I want to say, including the best one or the most ideal one. So I would definitely check that out. And then, of course, all of the attractions there, you'll get more MGP for doing them. Is it something like 50% more?
It is 50% more, yeah.
So, if you have not had a chance to check out the Gold Saucer in Final Fantasy XIV, we're going to do one of the attractions right now, and that's called Chocobo
It's the
Racing.
best attraction.
Indeed. Yes, in fact, live on camera, we are going to be Chocobo Racing. In fact, I'm going to get out of my idle camera, stand up, and we are going to...
This is not the PlayStation 1 game.
Oh, no. This is Final Fantasy XIV / Mario Kart Chocobo Racing.
Although if it were the PS1 game, it'd still be good.
So, we're going to go ahead and head over to Chocobo Square and get ready. We're going to go ahead and take the Aetheryte over to the Chocobo Square. And all three of us, and we have a special member with us from the Gaffrey Company. And hopefully he will wake up and realize that we're ready, but we'll go ahead and play it by ear. No problem.
Oh, he is awake.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and queue up for a Chocobo challenge, or I'm sorry, an open race. And do you guys have
Try and go easy on you guys.
Oh man, there's absolutely no guarantees here. I haven't done this in a while either, so let's hope this is entertaining enough. So I'm gonna choose random, and I think we got Costa del Sol, so just prepare yourself for that. And so we're gonna go ahead and queue up, and you can see other people here that are getting ready to race. And since we're gonna kind of talk as we go through this, but feel free to shout obscenities, and who knows, maybe we'll get a little bit of trash talk here and there, but we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna show you Chocobo Racing. But you do get your own Chocobo to basically breed and train how you will, and it has a bunch of different stats. See, we got Costa del Sol. And my Chocobo, I think, does better at night in the rain, so we'll see if that works. So it's at night.
My Chocobo is good all day, every night, so...
Oh, I see. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, we race along on this track, and there's 4 of us in a party right now, and you can go anywhere from solo to a full party of 8 people. But it'll fill in the rest of the players here with NPCs. So you can have a full... And oh my god, you guys are already way ahead of me. What have I done wrong?
Mine.
So there are items that are scattered all over the track here, and let's see if I can get one. Okay, I got the Briar, which means I'm going to sneak up behind Super Pony here and absolutely wreck him. And then I'll use this Choco Potion to recover my stamina. Let's see, we've got... Who's in front of me? I believe our pal Red 13 is in front of us. And I think... Are you Blue Meteor, Galen?
Yep.
Oh man, I don't know if I can catch you. I don't know if I can catch you. Oh man, Mike, are you way in the back?
Mm-hmm. This is the first race I've done with this character.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I know. I'm gonna try to get you, Galen.
Oh man.
And then I used my ability that I didn't want to use right at this moment.
Be sure don't step on any of those glowing pads.
Oh man. So the blue ones speed you up, but the red ones or the purple ones, that's not a good idea. And so I just got distracted, which means I can't use any items, and my stamina is going to die very quickly here. But hopefully Galen does not... Oh man, this is going to be close.
I think you got me. Oh wait. Maybe
it's going to be a photo finish. Photo finish.
Oh, you've been training, Grim.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Wow, they almost caught us.
Oh, the guy took my second spot.
Oh man, you got wrecked.
Freaking NPCs, man.
I think like a week or two ago, I was in here just like racing to try to level up, and I actually tied the second place one at the same time, the very exact same like millisecond or whatever, and that was interesting. I still got first place, but it'll actually say both of you got first. But
Yeah, I've seen the type. Look
wow,
at this.
yeah,
And Mike
look at
wins
that.
the bonus.
By 0.1, you lost that one. 0.01. Wow, that's pathetic. I
It's
think
rough sometimes. Whoa, pathetic. That's a little extreme.
yeah. You blew it.
I guess we might need a rematch to really see.
To settle this? Okay, so I know I feel bad for Mike, because I know that his chocobo doesn't have quite as much training as ours, but
I've been training for this all day. Come on.
have you really?
No, not really. But I did just get this chocobo today, so
Oh, I see.
if people have not been playing the chocobo racing, you really should, especially right now with multiple people. You get an experience bonus. It goes way faster than it used to be, so it's really fun.
So Mike, what do you think of chocobo racing? Like, they first rolled it out with patch 2.5, way before Heaven's Word. So have you done much chocobo racing at all ever since?
I did a lot for the day it came out. Like, I streamed it. We did a bunch of races. I don't like how, because it's server ticks and it's still an MMO, it's not, the handling is not real handling. It's like lanes. It's almost like tank controls. So it's a different type of race. It's not exactly it's not like a true racing game. It's more of like a mini game. So I don't know. I generally like racing games where you have like full control, and better like steering control, quote unquote. So I kind of like stopped playing it after like the first day or two.
So I use the Bacchus wine or the Bacchus water on Super Pony, and oh no, Briars, I can't. No, this hurts.
And Grim is down.
Oh no, I took a ton. That was not good.
Those briars mess you up, man.
Yeah, and the briars, what happens if you get stuck in them, it'll drain your stamina fast. And so if I run out of stamina, I want to be super slow by the end of this, which is not cool. And there goes the blue shell, the Choco Meteor, which means RIP stamina. I think you've got a good shot of catching me, Mike.
But we are now in very bad shape.
So what I use there is my ability is, if I get frenzied, I can use my ability to undo the frenzy and give me back a little bit of stamina. And I'm going to totally wreck Red because he messed me up with his stamina. And oh, he is out! He is out.
Oh, that Choco Meteor.
Did you get it? Oh no, I hope not.
I didn't get meteored.
Oh, here it is. Oh, here it's coming. I'm going to use
First
it.
place did.
Here we go. Boom!
There we go. I redeemed myself. Regardless of all the meteors dropping on heads.
Oh, man, this guy's going to catch me. Oh no, oh no.
Oh, poor Red. He's in last place.
It was a valiant effort, though. Alright, so I think we're going to do one more after this. So, as you race, your chocobo will level up, and then you'll have the potential to learn some abilities. And you can also change the abilities, and then there's also a way you can breed chocobos and breed better chocobos over time. And it's quite time-consuming, but if you take the time to breed a couple generations of chocobos, you can actually get a really good chocobo if you level it up decently. But yeah, right now you can see there's quite a few people here taking advantage of the boosted experience that you get with this seasonal event. And it runs from right now until Friday, June 10th, so you have plenty of time to log in and take advantage of that. So now we're going to do the Gridania path. It's raining, it's at night, so the odds, I think, are in my favor.
Of course they are.
Because I'm just that good.
Chocobo racing is definitely more fun when you have like a bunch of people, and you get more rewards for doing it in a group too. So
yeah, so definitely, like, I definitely recommend like doing a light or a full party, and then getting in like voice chat or voice over IP and just absolutely having it out, because it's pretty hilarious. So I got a Choco Potion, which means I can restore stamina with it. And over time, as you hit forward, you drain your stamina. And I totally missed that treasure chest. I feel totally bad. Now I'm going to use my ability to get rid of Frenzy to give me back a little bit of stamina. Can I catch Blue Meteor? I don't know. It might be tough. This course, I feel like it's the easiest to drain your stamina on. I think it's the longest. And that there's a lot more obstacles when you get into higher ranks too.
yeah, I think this one's the longest, and Sagoli Desert is I think the shortest and quickest. Most people like to use that one.
And I got a Grab a Ball, which means I can slow down Blue Meteor with heavy.
Oh man,
you are like way ahead of me right now. Oh, I missed that one too. Darn it. Yeah,
I'm so far ahead. I'm just gonna slow down now.
Oh man, but my speed stat is pretty good, like later in the race, so I think I'm gonna catch you. And all you gotta do now is get the hell out of my way. And oh, why? Really?
Gotta let you think that you have a chance, and then give you no chance.
Oh man, is this gonna happen? Am I gonna lose to you?
This isn't even my final form, man. I have my Choco Sprint.
Oh man, and I'm already out. So who's gonna win?
And that's how you race.
Who's gonna red or Mike? Now we have to wait and see how that plays out.
Oh, Mike takes the lead.
You can do it.
And they're out of stamina. Poor Red. Didn't know what he was getting into.
Well played, everyone. So yeah, that's Chocobo Racing and the Gold Saucer. That's one of the several different attractions at the end of the race here. You can see that one of us... Oh, Mike again with the bonus. And with the bonus, you'll get extra experience points and you'll rank up faster.
The game likes you, Mike.
See, that's one of the things, like, you sometimes you need, an extra little boost if you can't win every race, and I don't mean to be disparaging at all. So with that taken care of, I think we're going to go ahead and end the show a little bit earlier this week, and that's because we kind of had to do some last-minute planning with Aaron being out. But it's quite all right because we'll be back soon. Again, guys, the plan is to do, like, if not weekly, then try to get, like, bi-weekly done, or, I'm sorry, once every 2 weeks. And so with E3 coming up, we're going to be doing a lot of coverage on the site, and we're going to be out there covering all the events as they happen. So we may not, the week of E3, have a show, but the week after, I think, is definitely a lock. So we'll definitely have Aaron and Mike, and also I think Mike may become a more regular guest on our Looking Forward to It episodes in the future. We absolutely do, and I think that's... You see, I left a little space in the HUD for that, so we've got plenty of room. So I want to thank Mike and Ike for joining us today. Thanks again, guys, for listening. Please check out the site, for the latest, and we'll have even more as patch 3.3 in Final Fantasy XIV heads to release on June 7th. We're also on YouTube, we're also on SoundCloud, and in the future we'll be looking into diversifying the amount of platforms that we're on, so look forward to that. I kind of want to get that done a bit after E3, that we'll start getting episodes up on iTunes, and so you can take us with you in the car as you're driving to work, school, whatever. Comments are always appreciated, feedback is always appreciated. Leave that in the comments below, send me a tweet, send us a tweet, it's all good. So guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.